YouTube right now, it'd be great if you hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch. I go live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at whatever time I can wake up. So hopefully you enjoy. Okay, let's go into part 2 of this. Steven Crowder, of course, has to show his racist, dongle every few minutes. So let's see what he had to say.
You can see how right she was.
That's who's talking in Pelosi's earpiece with the microphone. The microphone and word the verk. Get it out the way.
I'm so funny. I'm so white and witty. Isn't my joke hilarious? I've been to parties where white dudes will make off-color jokes. And then they'll get their little boys and be like, yo, that's great, man. That's awesome.
Even justice from the neck of black and
My Swedish chef is more like a Wisconsin chef.
Fergie Spargy, dilating pupil and pollution.
the vast majority
did he say?
of
All right,
women
good.
wearing
Sorry.
a uniform and a badge serve our communities, and they serve them honorably. I know them.
Oh, boy.
I know they want.
Can't clap for a cop.
Oh,
What?
Thanks, Maxine. Now you stand up for police officers and clap.
She looks like Animal on drums.
Oh,
No, I mean, look at
Bell for
the
that.
pupils. She's sitting there right now. She's like,
For your phone? Yeah. Your finger. Guys, give me 1 second. No, you got it. I'm trying to, but for some reason. Yeah, you don't have to turn off your. We're not in that age anymore. You can keep your phone on. You can put it on silence. There's a thing at the top. I just got my dad a new phone, so he's exploring. Anyway,
clapping for cops.
that's not. Oh, wrong one. That's not racist. That's not that. You don't find. She looks like an animal on drums. It's not dehumanizing black people. Like, what animal do you think he's talking about? Come on, say the line. Come on, white boys, say the line. I know you want to say Donkey Kong. Just say it. Go ahead. I know you was thinking about an orangutan, a monkey. Go ahead, do it. Do it. Say I won't. Say I won't. Ooh. Ooh. You got the wrong one.
Okay, sitting down.
To rebuild trust between law
Yeah,
enforcement.
no, believe it. People are going to say,
I thought Dave was back for a second.
Maxine Waters looks like an animal. No, I said she looks like the Muppet animal. You're going to tell me she doesn't look like a freaky Muppet who was pushed in a hot wash cycle?
Just to reiterate the point, he provided this slit. Guys, do I have to make this any clearer? If you can't afford $1,800 a semester, if that's our national crisis, let's not act like we want these people building our roads and planes. Okay, this probably is going to insult everybody who's watching this stream right now. This is going to insult every single person. Every single person.
It's going to provide universal quality preschool to all 3- and 4-year-olds. First off, I don't think 3-year-olds should be in school. Okay,
That's pretty young.
Call that a risque
how are you,
opinion.
dear? How are you, darling?
Free community college to all Americans, including dreamers.
Whoa.
Oh, there's a nice little
okay.
incentivization.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we're talking about free community college. The average across the country is $1,800 a semester, and by the way, that average is skewed because of the significant costs in
I'm
the
stressed
the
out
northeastern
over what I'm
states
having
in
to
California,
listen to all
and the liberal
day.
states where it's more expensive, again due to inflation. And by the way, that average is skewed because of the significant costs in the northeastern states in California, and the liberal states where it's more expensive, again due to inflation, due to a lot of grants. It's lower in places like Texas. At what point do we just want to keep lowering the bar to any, like, if you can't afford $1,800 a semester, if that's our national crisis, let's not act like we want these people building our roads and planes.
Okay. Do I have to unpack how racist that just was? Because I'm going to say a stereotype. I do not want this clipped, but I know it's going to get clipped. Going to say a stereotype to prove this point as false. And I hate that I have to go here with it, but a lot of people who comment on things of mine on Steven Crowder love to have this defense, so I'm going to shatter it right now. If we were to assume that Mexicans and illegals are doing the work that Americans don't want to do and are getting paid less and less for it, aren't they the ones building the roads? Aren't they the ones in the construction sites? Don't they not have degrees and go to trade school? Don't they get paid while they're on the job? So those gringos, those, illegals you be talking about, yeah, I had to use the accent too because I'm really driving the point home here. Even in the world in which they acknowledge that that shit is real, if you can't afford $1,800 a semester, you're probably not good enough to be building our. So what are we good for? So if there's a massive poverty crisis and somebody can't afford $3,600 a year, then what are we doing here? Want to become famous? Mods, please. Thank you. What are we doing here? What are we easy clap? What are we doing here? Like, it is really disparaging to me to watch people in a position of privilege that make money and then espouse things like this. This is why I don't hate leftist stream, not in the sense of grifting the grift world, but like, this is why I don't get mad at certain leftist streamers who are popular and have a lot of money, because we fund that because that is enjoyable content that makes sense and makes us, think a little more like, yeah, that is kind of stupid. Why are they saying that right now? You, on the other hand, from the same house, from the same, I get money is mine. For my New York people, if you was there, you was there. I know one person watching right now just laughed so hard at what I said. Yo, like, so are you saying that college should have the barrier of money? If the case is, or how low we're going to make it, why not make it higher then? Matter of fact, yeah, that's a good point too. Batman got a good degree and still can't pave a 10-mile stretch of road. Like, we could go into the whole masculinity argument. All right, Crowder, why are you making so much more money than construction and blue-collar workers that you claim are doing the real jobs, while the liberals are just sitting there in their dresses, typing on the internet and on Twitter being mad at me? Like, in the world you live in, what you just said doesn't make sense. In the world you live in, what you said doesn't make sense. So you want your viewers to take this as a sign of, like, strong masculine, like, get out of here.
I do appreciate that when you talk about lowering the standard. I mean, that's really what it ultimately comes down to. Is
it really ultimately what it comes down to? Because I can think of like 4 things off the top of my head that it doesn't like boil down to, and one of them just so happens to be the fact that people in this country are poor. Like,
when you think about who are the people that are going to be going, and I know a number of folks who have gotten their start eventually going to a 4-year institution, who went and built huge companies, tens or hundreds of millions of dollars off of even just 1 year of community college. And everyone's a little bit different. You also see people who go to private schools, private universities, some of the best in the country, turn out to be complete flop.
I really wish we could have listened to the rest of that, because I'm like, how is that in support of his argument? So college is meaningless. So we should lower the bar to allow anyone entry, to give them the opportunity to build those companies. I need Valium. Like, yo, I need to be high off my ass to understand. Yeah, maybe I should debate Steven Crowder. Maybe I should aim for this. Like, that's the first Infinity Stone. Because it seems like that's the weakest link out of all 6 of these people. Like, Are you for real?
Guest. No president ever said those words.
Steven Crowder, don't say Kamala Harris's name. Every time you say it, she doesn't know whether to spread her legs or appear in a mirror.
No president ever said those words. And it's about time.
No one said what word?
I think it's the women behind us or something like that. Like 2 women. They're making a big deal out of this. Is the first time there's been 2 women behind the president.
Don't say Kamala Harris's name. Anytime you say it, she doesn't know whether to spread her legs or appear in a mirror.
Ouch. I'm her husband.
I like these basic fact affirming. We are here. She is my wife.
My wife in the transparent sundress. She got a set on her, doesn't she, folks?
Stop it. And the cabinet distinguished guest. No president ever said those words. And
I bet you if Steven Crowder wasn't a Republican, a conservative, you wouldn't be outraged. It's like, it's one thing to be called an Oreo in like elementary school by your classmates and like, oh, you talk white, blah, blah, blah. It's another thing to be a grown-ass man with millions of dollars saying this shit. I don't even know where to start. Everything is bad. Earth is bad. Off the rock. Third rock from the sun. I need to go. I need to go. I'm off this planet. I'm done with this. The right's getting better at comedy and it's making me nervous. There was some tweets I had liked. Maybe at the end of this we'll go through them, and it talks about the fucking comedy thing. Oh my God. Ben Shapiro, Trump lied casually, but Joe Biden is the kind of guy who lies purposely.
I think that the Washington Post, which now basically has announced it's going to stop fact-checking Joe Biden. He's just that honest.
When do they ever start, though? Is the question.
Well, they occasionally...
The day he opened his mouth, they started.
Occasionally say this, I mean, Joe Biden, the funny thing is the difference between the way Joe Biden lies and Donald Trump lied is substantial. I mean, Donald Trump was an exaggerator, and he used to say, I exaggerate the truth. And that was actually pretty true for the most part.
For my women and those who present as a lady or those who identify with the spectrum of womanhood, this is gaslighting, because for a fact he's saying this out of his mouth knowing this segment is getting recorded.
Obvious exceptions, but still, Biden just lied.
Well, yeah, I'll say it this way. I think that Trump lied casually. Like, if you're just in a conversation with him, he'd be the guy who'd be like, shaving 5 strokes off his handicap on the golf course,
exactly.
Right? Oh, yeah. That's what Trump is. Yeah. But Joe Biden is the kind of guy who lies purposefully. Like,
ladies and gentlemen, I would like to play you from the back of my memory a quote from the former president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. It's worse than your seasonal flu. It's worse than anything we've ever seen, actually. I played it down in the beginning. I actually still like playing it down. Casual though, real subtle. It's not a lie. I'm exaggerating the truth that coronavirus is a dangerous threat to humanity.
Like he's right. Like, what do I need to say to achieve this effect? Yeah. And I'll just lie to do it. Right. So I'll just say for months on end that Georgia's voting law is Jim Crow. Or I will just say over and over and over that you still need to mask up for no reason. Yeah. Right? Like no reason at all. Right.
All grifts. These are grifes that they're using for grifts. Ooh, I got that right. These are grifes. There's no lies in any of that. Matter of fact, I guess the CDC is liberal media now.
And that is a significantly worse form of lie, because the thing about Trump and kind of the way that he would fib is that nobody took that stuff seriously. Like
Okay, we're just doing this. I'm going to Google January 6th and let's see what the first thing that comes up is. They just, nobody would believe that. That's a part of our history now. So... no, I don't think that it's just casual lies that nobody believes.
They kept fact-checking him, and I just kept thinking to myself, okay, and?
Well, before... And then they counted the lies and said, oh, he's lied so many more times. But there's a difference between saying I had a lot of people at my inauguration and saying this is
the magnitude of the lie kind of matters. Like if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. It's a much bigger lie than there were so many people at my inauguration. Like one is a mild irritant that goes to character, and the other one is like
pick the things that he like felt bad about, so he just said out loud, versus the things that like he really targeted towards people. Remember, guys, he ran on a platform of Mexicans are bringing in rapists.
You just lied about a massive piece of policy that also hundreds of millions of Americans.
You know, Andrew,
this is so fun. This is fun. I'm having the time of my life. And I know it doesn't look like I'm having the time of my life, but like I'm really doing this, bro. Like,
it's unusual for a prosecutor to do such a thing to a lawyer, especially like you said, the former president of the United States lawyer. This feels like a purely political play here.
Well, it was signed, the search warrant was signed by an Obama judge. And now, look, I don't want to be too theoretical on this, but we've seen just how much the Justice Department started to get political under Barack Obama, and now it's continuing under Joe Biden.
Skip the 4 years. Skip the 4 years of Donald Trump literally sicking the DOJ on people.
So, I mean, you can make your own conclusions on that. All I will tell you is the judge was appointed by Barack Obama, and the Trump Justice Department did not want to move forward with this. As soon as they got it to an Obama judge, he certainly did.
Can I ask a question? What were they, the search warrant, what were they looking for?
So they were looking for devices, and that's kind of the ironic thing here, right? They wanted phones, they wanted iPads, they wanted computers. The one thing that they did not take, the one thing, Sean, was the hard drive of Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's hard drive. That's the one thing they didn't take. I mean, tell me, what is going on here?
Why do Republicans always have bad audio?
I mean, this is absolutely absurd, Sean, and I'm sorry, but this has to stop. Enough is enough. You and I have been made fun of on Saturday Night Live. This is nothing. That's nothing compared to this. You're ridiculous.
So why'd you bring it up? Fox guest says that homeless people are colonizing spaces that belong to people who worked hard for their status and is causing civilization to decline. You got to think about this stuff from the perspective of a suburban, rural Fox News viewer who rarely, if ever, visits a city. They absolutely believe every metro area is a war zone right now.
That people have that are urban spaces or common spaces or cities are in decline. There are a lot of ways to measure that. How do you measure decline?
Decline is whether a culture has the confidence to stand up for its own values that make for civilization. We do not. And the visual signs of that loss of confidence are around us every single moment in our big cities today, above all by the permission for vagrancy and homelessness.
Yes.
It is not...
It's that Prince Philip juice.
Should not be controversial to say you do not get to colonize city streets, that people that have worked hard to work their way up the housing ladder, that are trying to raise children, they have a right to expect streets to be passable, clean, not to have litter and feces everywhere. We have so lost confidence in the basic values of...
You know it's bad. I'm going to tell you guys right now. You know it's bad when my dad start laughing at it. That's when it's really bad. Because he don't give a shit about this, but he like listens. And like, if you're getting a random passerby to be like, you're dumb, then like, you're really not appealing to like your highest base of thought.
Of urbanity and of civilization that we cannot say this is not permissible any longer.
All right, so homeless people don't deserve clean streets. Homeless people are the reasons for litter and feces on the street. Homeless people are the reason why every city is like bad. They're colonizing spaces that should belong to hardworking Americans, as if like, you know, every human just shouldn't have a house because that's the only way for humanity to, you know, thrive. Okay, that's a lot to unpack, but let's keep going.
And once you allow that, we have enabled a lifestyle that is going to make cities, forget even COVID, forever more impassable.
So how long ago was this? Because he has a day show? Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, no, I can't. I mean, I hope this is just a morning rerun.
So I guess what you're saying is we shouldn't be surprised by what we got since we allowed it.
Right.
Okay. To think about this, I know you guys don't want me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. To think about this from a double sides perspective. The opposite side of this is obviously the horrible side. On my side, or the side that I would normally take, I'd obviously call all this bullshit. I'd bring in the whole point of like gentrification, the immediate removal of culture from certain demographics by use of replacement of art. I did a whole poem on that if you really want to get that deep into it. On their side, however, I guess the argument is that poor people or homeless people who have places provided or things provided to them by the government further enhances the idea that no matter where you are in society, government will take care of you. Therefore, most people will just say, fuck it, I guess I'm just not gonna work hard or do anything anymore because as long as the government takes care of me. But to agree with that statement, do you see where like this gets like muddled? Like no rational human. So why didn't we just all become homeless during the pandemic? Why did we want to keep our homes? Like, why did we want jobs to come back? Why did we want things to open up?
I spent time on Skid Row in LA, which is truly...
Oh my God, not the Skid Row. Bro, just do the 1350 argument so we can all get on with our day, please.
Hell on earth. There is no other homeless area, even San Francisco, to compare to Skid Row. It is like you're in a Boschian nightmare. And I've had people tell me there, oh yeah, people come from Iowa because they've heard that you can party on Skid Row without any kind of check on your behavior.
That woman has more money than like almost everybody in my family. I promise you that.
People who deny that this is a lifestyle choice are completely selling a myth.
Okay, the myth is that we're selling this as a lifestyle decision, so you think people just want to be homeless because it's cool? What are we in, like the crust punk 90s?
Because people understand that if you allow it, they will come, you'll get more of it. 100 years ago, it was not controversial. Police moved people along. They said, you don't get to colonize. There were Skid Rows that were...
Colonize. She keeps saying colonize. She keeps saying colonize. As if, and I hate to be like an assumption maker here, but I'm pretty sure it was like your people who colonized the place you're sitting in right now, with the background that you're sitting in. That's not American land, that's Native American land.
Cage hotels, cheap, very cheap housing.
SROs.
SROs that people could afford even though they were alcoholics.
I need water. 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 That last comment, I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm going to explain it to you real quick. I hate this because I'm doing a VOD. So as you guys figured out already, I'm probably not even gonna I might not do the Toonami voice reel. I might not. Depends on how my throat feels because I've been screaming all day. Maybe we'll just set it up. Okay. We got to go back over that last piece of that statement.
100 years, there were Skid Rows that were cage hotels, cheap, very cheap housing.
SROs.
SROs that people could afford even though they were alcoholics.
Alcoholics don't deserve housing. Alcoholics who probably made a lot of money and fell into a pit of despair because they were alcoholics and are now homeless don't deserve housing. People who are alcoholics who have housing deserve housing because they can afford it, but the people who are alcoholics who can afford SROs don't deserve it because they're Republican strategy. I just say a lot, and if you get mad at it, you're mad at me speaking the truth. Holy shit. 24-minute segment so far.
paid family and medical leave for American workers, which again, this is basically designed to alleviate the consequences of personal choice.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. 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 Y'all can see the back of my head, see my waves. Hold on. I gotta open that one. That shit deep. Hold on.
The idea is that no one should lose benefit in their career trajectory for taking time out of the American workforce. Question, why?
Ben, you have sabbaticals. You get paid leave.
Why? I
answer the question. Why?
It's a choice. We all have choices. Those choices come with consequences. The great lie of modern society is that you can have everything you want and that somebody else will pay for it. That ain't the way real life works. Okay, but that is Joe Biden's proposal. The plan also calls for devoting hundreds of billions of dollars to fighting child poverty and ensuring affordable child care nationwide. Again.
Okay. He just said something that like every human on earth should agree with. What is your why is it bad to cut child poverty, and why is it bad to give why is it bad to supply child care? I would love to hear your take on this.
And to try and ram people into the workforce. Also, the idea of, again, to try and ram people into the workforce. Also, the idea of devoting hundreds of billions to fighting child poverty. What they mean by that is signing checks to parents. That has never been an effective way of fighting child poverty.
This be the man that y'all simp for. This kills me. This be the man that y'all simp for.
The left believes the way you fight poverty in the long run is just to sign people checks. That is not effective. We have spent $22 trillion in the war on poverty. Precisely the same percentage of Americans are living under the poverty line now as we're living under the poverty line when we started the war on poverty.
%. And now we're at 12.3%. So that was a lie.
The way that you actually got out of poverty?
Damn, it's been a long war on poverty, huh? So I guess we're not the winners of all our wars, huh? Funny, $22 trillion to end poverty. I wonder where that money went.
Is you incentivize good choices.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he's living in a society that does not exist. Because the choices you make. Yeah, we passed 4 things: the EOA, the Food Stamp Act, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, the Social Security Act. So we lost the war on poverty and the war on drugs, which is funny because this is about to be the point on that.
You incentivize things like waiting to have babies until you are financially stable.
Here we go. That's eugenics.
And getting married and getting a job. Right?
Getting married has nothing to do with fighting poverty. Getting a job has nothing to do with fighting poverty because the wages are too low. You've heard the disclaimers to these arguments time and time again, and somehow you're still making the same arguments. Why is this man on my TV screen?
Right, these are the ways you actually get kids out of poverty, not by signing checks. If signing checks just got kids out of poverty, fewer kids would be in poverty today. That's for damn sure, since we've been signing checks at record rates for decades in the United States. To pay for all of this, White House officials are proposing $1.5 trillion in tax hikes. Oh, yeah, that won't have any downside.
Everybody, the only reason you are poor is because you don't have a job that pays enough. Which is crazy because I could have sworn we looked at a graph that literally displayed to you how asinine that argument is. If there is not enough space in a workforce to pay people at a rate higher that would give them a better standard of living, then there is no shot of them getting out of poverty, because someone's going to have to take the low wage job. The low wage jobs are the ones that are plentiful. The other ones are in a funnel system where a bunch of factors stop you from getting in regardless of your merit. Regardless of how good you are, there has to be an open slot for you to get in there. I hate life. I hate him. I hate him. So then J.D. Vance, jackass, says universal child care is a massive subsidy to the lifestyle preferences of the affluent over the preferences of the middle and working class. Paid work preferences of 18 to 50. Both parents, what is this? Less than 4-year degree, 4-year degree. Family uses paid childcare full time. Both parents work part time and provide childcare in the home. This infographic is really fucking stupid. One parent works full time. One parent provides childcare in the home. One parent, the degrees, blah blah blah. It turns out that normal Americans care more about their families than their jobs and want a family policy that doesn't shunt their kids into crap daycare so they can enjoy more freedom in the paid labor force. Universal daycare is a class war against normal people. Lots of ideas out there for how to directly parents doing it. This is a good one. Fox News. Oh, yes, the super rich need this tiny entitlement while the working poor with 2 jobs are swimming along fine with no help. Yes, I'm sure it'll be affluent. I'm sure the affluent will be happily sending their kids to government childcare instead of fighting to get into exclusive 50-day-a-year daycares. Your narcissism is so clumsy. You have the masturbatory self-inflation down pat. You just aren't remotely close to pulling off the act that you understand. These data don't say the things that you're pretending to saying. It's just folk expressing their choices among a set of bad options, not how they may prefer a new, possibly better option. You might be smart enough to understand this, which makes your deception that much worse. So this means you'll advocate for policies that increase wages so a family can subsist on one earner's wages and propose generous subsidies so that single parents are able to stay at home rather than work. You really act like rich people be shopping at poor places. Like, oh, the rich and all the things that they have, they're going to lose all that so the poor people can, manage their lives. Maybe they should just have more personal responsibility. It sounds like black conservatism and MAGA movement and Republicans are all one group of bad decisions. In theory, that's supposed to be the end of today's stream.